Welcome to Malice and Mystery, where shadows whisper and the unknown beckons. Enter a realm of spine-tingling horror, eerie mysteries, and chilling tales. From real-life paranormal encounters to unsolved enigmas and bone-chilling urban legends, we bring you the darkest stories from the depths of the unknown. Subscribe if you dare, and remember, some mysteries are best left unsolved. Unsolved Mystery: The Vanishing of the Sodder Children, Secrets Uncovered. The Vanishing of the Sodder Children, a Christmas mystery that endured. On Christmas Eve 1945, in the small coal mining town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family gathered for what should have been a joyous holiday celebration. George and Jenny Sodder, Italian immigrants who had built a modest but comfortable life through hard work and determination, were hosting their 5 children: Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, along with 2 older sons, John and George Jr., who had returned home for the holidays. The family's 2-story frame house stood as a testament to their American dream. Nestled amidst the rolling Appalachian hills where George operated his successful coal delivery business, the evening began like any other festive gathering, filled with laughter, gift exchanges, and the warm glow of Christmas lights. The youngest children, particularly 9-year-old Betty and 5-year-old Sylvia, were especially excited about Santa's impending visit. As midnight approached, the family settled into their beds, unaware that this would be their last night together under one roof. The house, decorated with traditional holiday cheer, seemed to hold no hint of the tragedy that would unfold in mere hours. George and Jenny, having worked tirelessly to provide for their family during challenging times, had created a home filled with love and security. Their children thrived in this environment, attending local schools and participating in community activities. The Sodder family was well respected in Fayetteville, known for their strong work ethic and close-knit relationships. Little did they know that their lives were about to become entangled in one of America's most perplexing and enduring mysteries. It's a case that would captivate national attention and leave investigators baffled for decades to come. The fire that changed everything. The tranquility of that Christmas night was shattered just after midnight when a deafening explosion rocked the Sodder home. George, awakened by the sound, immediately recognized the danger as flames began licking at the walls of his bedroom. In a panic, he roused Jenny and the 3 oldest children, John, George Jr., and Marion, who were sleeping on the first floor. The family barely escaped through a window as the fire rapidly consumed the wooden structure, its intensity fueled by the dry winter air and the house's outdated wiring. As they stood in the frigid December darkness, watching their home collapse into ashes, the full horror of the situation became apparent. 5 of their children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were still upstairs when the fire broke out, despite desperate attempts to reach them, including George's valiant effort to climb a ladder to their second-floor bedrooms. The inferno proved insurmountable. The local fire department, hampered by equipment failures and delayed response times, arrived too late to make any difference. By dawn, all that remained of the Sodder home was a smoldering pile of rubble. The official investigation quickly concluded that faulty wiring had caused the fire, a common hazard in older homes of that era. However, several peculiar details emerged that cast doubt on this explanation. Neighbors reported seeing mysterious figures near the property earlier that evening, while others claimed to have heard arguments between George and an insurance agent about coverage issues. Most troubling was the discovery that the family's phone lines had been cut some time before the fire started, preventing any emergency calls from being made. These anomalies, coupled with the complete absence of human remains in the debris, planted seeds of suspicion that would grow into full-blown conspiracy theories in the months to come. A mother's determination, unraveling the official narrative. In the weeks following the tragedy, Jenny Sodder refused to accept the official explanation of her children's fate. Her maternal instincts told her something was profoundly wrong with the narrative presented by authorities. The lack of identifiable remains among the ashes defied logic. Even in intense fires, bones typically survive. Yet searchers found only a few vertebrae fragments, which some experts later suggested might have belonged to animals rather than humans. This crucial piece of evidence, or lack thereof, gnawed at Jenny's conscience and fueled her growing suspicions. Jenny's doubts deepened when she recalled strange occurrences leading up to that fateful night. Several months earlier, a life insurance salesman had visited their home, warning George about the dangers of fire and pressuring him to purchase additional coverage. When George declined, citing his existing policies, the man allegedly made cryptic remarks about things happening if they didn't comply. More disturbingly, Jenny remembered a peculiar incident involving her youngest daughter, Betty. On Christmas Eve morning, Betty had drawn a picture of their house burning down, complete with smoke and flames. At the time, they dismissed it as a child's imagination, but in hindsight, it seemed eerily prophetic. The family also discovered that their coal truck, normally parked near the house, had mysteriously disappeared the night of the fire. This detail took on greater significance when they learned that another vehicle, belonging to a neighbor, had been vandalized in the same time frame. The pattern of events suggested premeditation rather than accident. Jenny became convinced that someone had deliberately targeted their family, possibly as part of an insurance scam or retaliation for George's outspoken political views. Her determination to uncover the truth led her to hire private investigators and launch her own parallel investigation. Despite warnings from local authorities to let the matter rest, the search for answers, following every lead determined to uncover the truth. The Sodder family embarked on an exhaustive investigation that would span years and lead them down increasingly mysterious paths. Their first major breakthrough came 6 months after the fire, when they received a photograph in the mail showing a young girl who bore a striking resemblance to their missing daughter, Betty. The photo, postmarked from Louisville, Kentucky, included a cryptic note on the back reading, "Louisville, Kai, December 1946. Love, Louise." This single piece of evidence reignited hope that at least one of their children might still be alive, prompting George and Jenny to travel to Louisville multiple times in search of answers. Their investigation expanded as they began receiving anonymous tips and sightings reports from across the country. One particularly compelling lead came from a woman in Texas who claimed to have seen 3 children matching the descriptions of Louis, Jenny, and Martha working in a traveling circus. Another witness reported seeing a boy resembling Morris at a reform school in New York State. Each lead, though ultimately unverified, kept the family's hopes alive and their search active. They spent thousands of dollars on private detectives and placed advertisements in newspapers nationwide, offering substantial rewards for information about their children. Perhaps the most intriguing development came when the family discovered a connection between their case and organized crime figures operating in the region. Through their network of informants, they learned that George's vocal opposition to Mussolini's fascist regime might have made him enemies among certain Italian-American groups. Some theorized that these connections could explain both the precision of the attack and the subsequent disappearance of the children. While concrete evidence remained elusive, these revelations added layers of complexity to an already perplexing mystery, suggesting that the Sodder children's vanishing might be tied to forces far beyond a simple house fire. The ripple effect. A community divided, the Sodder children's disappearance sent shockwaves through Fayetteville, transforming the tight-knit mining community into a divided battleground of theories and suspicions. Local residents, many of whom had watched the Sodder children grow up, found themselves torn between sympathy for the grieving family and skepticism about their increasingly elaborate theories. The initial wave of support gradually gave way to whispered rumors and pointed fingers, particularly as George and Jenny persisted in challenging the official narrative. Some neighbors accused them of seeking attention or financial gain through their continued investigations, while others quietly wondered if the family might be hiding something themselves. The controversy reached fever pitch when the Sodders erected a billboard along Route 19, featuring photographs of their missing children and offering a $5,000 reward for information. While some viewed this as a desperate parent's plea for help, others saw it as an unnecessary reminder of tragedy that was better left buried. The tension escalated further when George publicly accused local officials of incompetence and possible complicity in covering up crucial evidence. His confrontational approach alienated many former friends and business associates, leading to boycotts of his coal delivery service and social ostracism for the entire family. The media's involvement only intensified the community's divisions. National newspapers and true crime magazines descended upon Fayetteville, turning the quiet town into a spectacle of speculation and sensationalism. Local businesses capitalized on the attention, selling Sodder memorabilia to curious visitors, while opportunists spread wild theories ranging from government conspiracies to alien abductions. The constant scrutiny and exploitation of their tragedy left many townspeople feeling violated and exploited, creating deep rifts that would take generations to heal. Even today, longtime residents remain reluctant to discuss the case, viewing it as a painful chapter in their community's history that refuses to close. New evidence emerges. Cracking open the cold case decades after the fire, a series of unexpected discoveries began to shed new light on the Sodder mystery. In 2003, a retired firefighter named Charles High revealed startling information about the night of the fire. According to High, who was 16 at the time, he had witnessed a group of men tampering with the Sodder family's fuse box shortly before the explosion occurred. This testimony directly contradicted the official report of faulty wiring and suggested deliberate sabotage. High's account gained credibility when another former volunteer firefighter confirmed similar observations, though both men admitted they had remained silent for fear of reprisal. The investigation took another dramatic turn in 2015 when DNA technology finally advanced enough to analyze the few bone fragments recovered from the fire site. The results were shocking. None of the samples matched any of the Sodder children's genetic profiles. This scientific evidence, combined with the firefighters' testimonies, effectively dismantled the original theory of accidental death. Furthermore, a forensic examination of the remaining debris revealed traces of accelerants and patterns consistent with arson rather than random electrical failure. Perhaps most compelling was the discovery of previously classified FBI documents obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. These files contained references to an organized crime syndicate operating in West Virginia during the 1940s, with specific mentions of threats made against Italian-American families who opposed fascist ideologies. The documents also noted surveillance of George Sodder due to his anti-Mussolini activities, suggesting that his family might have been targeted for reasons extending far beyond a simple insurance fraud scheme. Together, these revelations painted a picture of a carefully orchestrated operation rather than a tragic accident, breathing new life into the decades-old investigation. Theories unfold, piecing together the puzzle. The convergence of new evidence has given rise to several compelling theories about the Sodder children's fate. The most widely supported hypothesis suggests an elaborate kidnapping orchestrated by organized crime figures seeking to silence George Sodder's political activism. This theory gained strength from the FBI documents linking local mob activity to anti-fascist targeting. Combined with the verified tampering of the fuse box and severed phone lines, the complete absence of remains, and the discovery of the mysterious photograph from Louisville lend further credence to the possibility that the children were successfully abducted and relocated. Another prominent theory proposes that the children survived the fire but were subsequently hidden by individuals within the community who disagreed with George's controversial views. This explanation accounts for the numerous credible sightings reported across different states, as well as the persistent flow of anonymous tips over the years. The involvement of local residents in such a conspiracy would also explain why certain key witnesses remained silent for so long, only coming forward decades later when personal safety was no longer a concern. A third possibility involves a complex insurance fraud scheme gone awry. While initially dismissed due to the lack of monetary motive, this theory gains traction when considering the timing of the insurance agent's visit and the subsequent vandalism of nearby vehicles. Some investigators suggest that opportunistic criminals may have intended to stage a fatal fire, but were forced to improvise when their plan encountered unexpected resistance. The children's survival could then have been concealed either intentionally or accidentally, leading to their prolonged disappearance. Each of these theories, while distinct, shares common elements that align with the mounting evidence: premeditation, organized execution, and a systematic effort to obscure the truth. Lessons learned. The price of pursuing truth. The Sodder family's relentless pursuit of answers came at tremendous personal cost, fundamentally altering the course of their lives and leaving scars that would never fully heal. George and Jenny sacrificed everything: their business, their social standing, and much of their financial security in their quest to find their children. The strain of their unwavering determination eventually took its toll on their marriage, leading to periods of separation and bitter arguments about whether to continue the investigation. Their surviving children, particularly John and George Jr., struggled with guilt and trauma, forever haunted by memories of their siblings' terrified faces in the upstairs windows and their inability to save them. Yet amid the heartbreak and hardship, the Sodder case serves as a powerful testament to the enduring strength of parental love and the importance of questioning official narratives. Their persistence inspired changes in investigative procedures, particularly regarding cases involving missing children and suspicious fires. The family's experience highlighted critical flaws in evidence collection and preservation methods of the time, leading to improved protocols that benefited countless future investigations. Moreover, their story demonstrated how technological advancements could breathe new life into cold cases, offering hope to other families facing similar tragedies. The Sodders' journey also underscored the complex relationship between public interest and personal grief. While media attention brought valuable resources and expertise to their search, it simultaneously exposed them to exploitation and ridicule. Their experience became a cautionary tale about balancing the need for publicity with maintaining dignity and focus. Perhaps most significantly, the case revealed how deeply entrenched interests can influence official investigations, serving as a reminder of the importance of independent inquiry and the courage required to challenge established authority when seeking justice. Unresolved mysteries. The legacy of the Sodder case. Despite decades of investigation and numerous promising leads, the fate of the Sodder children remains shrouded in uncertainty. Modern technology, including advanced DNA analysis and digital forensics, continues to offer new avenues for exploration, yet definitive answers elude researchers. The case stands as a stark reminder of how easily truth can be obscured by time, bureaucracy, and human fallibility. Each new revelation seems to raise more questions than it answers, creating a complex web of possibilities that defies simple resolution. The surviving members of the Sodder family, now elderly, maintain hope that emerging technologies might finally unlock the secrets of that fateful Christmas night, though they acknowledge the likelihood diminishes with each passing year. The enduring mystery of the Sodder children's disappearance continues to resonate with contemporary society, serving as a powerful symbol of unresolved grief and the human need for closure. In an age where instant communication and global connectivity often create the illusion of transparency, their story reminds us how easily people can vanish without trace. The case has become a touchstone for discussions about missing persons, particularly children, and the systemic failures that can prevent justice from being served. It highlights the critical importance of thorough initial investigations, proper evidence handling, and the willingness to revisit old cases with fresh eyes and modern techniques. More broadly, the Sodder mystery speaks to universal themes of loss, perseverance, and the lengths parents will go to protect and find their children. Their story continues to inspire amateur sleuths, professional investigators, and true crime enthusiasts worldwide, generating new theories and potential leads even today. The case has evolved into a cultural phenomenon referenced in literature, film, and academic studies about unsolved mysteries and the impact of trauma across generations. As long as questions remain unanswered, the Sodder children's story will persist as a haunting reminder of how fragile our sense of security truly is, and how determined we must be to seek truth in the face of uncertainty. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video intriguing. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell to stay updated with more mysterious tales. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and stay cautious.